The 12-part series from iHeartRadio and Inside Voices is out now. Listen to the Lords of Soccer on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Your home for NASCAR and Fox Sports Radio. The Big 920, WOKY Milwaukee on the iHeartRadio app. Talking Golf on TPC Wisconsin is on the air. Brought to you by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Oak Park Place, offering senior living options with a lifestyle you deserve with amenities and services for a carefree, independent way of life. Wild Rock Golf Club. From 5 sets of tees and expansive greens, it's a course set up to embrace a challenge for scratch golfers to resort guests. Also by Zimbrick European. Why drive something ordinary when you can drive something extraordinary? University Ridge Golf Course, a public course that offers something for players of every ability and is the home of the Badgers men's and women's golf team. And by the Alzheimer's Association. Now, here are your co-hosts for Talking Golf on TPC Wisconsin.
Okay,
Dennis
gentlemen,
Tiziani,
mics
who's a member
are
of the Wisconsin
on.
Golf Hall of Fame, and longtime Madison sportscaster Paul Brown.
Welcome to another round of Talking Golf on the Golf Effect Radio Network from TPC in Wisconsin. Along with Dave McCann, our engineer, Dennis Tiziani, I'm Paul Brown. Another show on the agenda here, Tiz, and on our show tonight, Rob Hernandez is going to be on with us. Rob and Gary D'Amato are up at the State Amateur Tournament, which is going on at Sand Valley. And it should be interesting up there. The last 5 winners of that tournament aren't in it this year, and we're going to talk to those guys about that. Also on the show tonight, Steve Stricker will be joining us in about 10 or 12 minutes. And we've also got comments from Cameron Smith, Rory McIlroy, and Tiger Woods, plus some other stuff on the show tonight. Cameron, 20 under par at St. Andrews. Pretty impressive,
That's
huh?
very good. He played good. I mean, he made every putt. Everybody else didn't make it. But even still, he played good. 64 in the final round on that course. I mean, you could put the average player in the middle of the green on 18 holes, and they would never, ever break 80. That's how difficult it really is. I mean, he played great. I was happy for him. I hope he has a good life on the LIV Tour.
We're going to talk about that a little bit later in the show because Reuters is reporting, the rumors, so to speak, that he potentially may be joining the LIV Tour for about $90 million. But we're going to get into that, you and I, a little bit later on the show. Cameron did pick up 2.5 of the record $14 million. It's his 7th PGA Tour win, and so far that young man at age 28's won a little over $12 million. So he's not doing too bad.
No, he's doing good, but $90 million, come on. Yeah. That's a lot of money. I mean, really, I love all you sponsors and all you people, but $90 million, I think I'll take that and run.
And reaction to winning the tournament, here's Cameron Smith.
To win an Open Championship in itself is probably going to be a golfer's highlight in their career. To do it around St Andrews, I think, is just unbelievable. This place is so cool. I love the golf course. I love the town, and hopefully we can keep that trend going with the every 50 years. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
And in every tournament, there's a key shot or a key situation that kind of is the determining factor. And for Cameron in this tournament, what was that?
I think my shot into my second shot into 13 was really when I thought that we can win this thing. I think I had 3 birdies in a row before that, and then to hit that shot in there, well, the 2 shots, the drive and the second shot, were 2 of the best all week, and for that to go in, I think that was it for me.
And he talked about the fact that he had made his 3rd birdie, but he made 5 in a row on the backside on the final day.
Right. I mean, I played there, so I know a little bit about the course in a couple times, and it's not a 64 course. Now, it was no wind, perfect conditions, the greens were not that bad, so I can remember a while back, Stephen Tiger had a bad pairing.
Mm-hmm.
They got caught in the wind. They shot 81 and 82 or something like that.
Wow.
Because of the wind. Well, you can't play, in that wind. So this was great for him.
And Cameron talked about not only the 3 birdies, but maybe the key one of the 5 was on 13.
Maybe after my second or third birdie there on the back 9, I was, starting to think that I could really win this thing. I think I was 3 back with 9 holes to go, and I really needed to make something happen. But yeah, I would say those first 3 holes on that back 9 really came to me, and then from there I was starting getting different emotions, and really had to keep an eye on what I was thinking, and just different shots into greens.
And do you agree with everybody that says right now he may be one of the better putters on the tour, if not the best putter on the tour?
He's one of the better putters, obviously. He makes putts. That makes you a good putter, But I think he has the right, I know he has the right attitude. He doesn't get frustrated, at least outwardly. And he hits good shots. I mean, he's been hitting those good shots for a while now. He's a good player. I saw the guy from Australia come shake his hand and love it. I was hoping an American would win, of course, But
Cameron
has some thoughts on his philosophy when it comes to putting.
I definitely keep on top of it. I think for me, luckily, I think putting comes quite naturally. For me, it's just about getting back to the same setup position, basically. I practice with a mirror for probably 20 minutes a day. And to be honest, that's about it. I don't really hit a lot of long putts at home. I try and focus probably 10 to 15 footing in, and just seeing those putts drop. And then when I get out here at the start of the week, I start hitting some more lag putts and just getting the speed right.
Also at his press conference, he obviously had some comments about Rory McIlroy.
He's obviously a great player. I think he's one of those guys that you can't help but stop when he's hitting balls on the range, and he just keeps knocking on doors every week. It seems like he's probably the most consistent player out here. He's going to get a major, I'm sure, very soon. He's just really solid. There's for me, I've played with Rory a few times, and there's really nothing that you can fault.
And you talk about Rory McIlroy, Tiz. Obviously, probably 9 out of 10 of the people there seemed like they were all for Rory.
Well, he's got a 2-shot lead, shoots 70, and can't bring it home.
Yeah.
So, it took an amazing thing to beat him. He played good enough to win here, but maybe he played a little too cautious. Maybe he should have got more aggressive early, but, he's going along. He had a 4-shot lead on this guy and 3 shots with 9 holes to go.
And speaking of Rory, obviously he's a little bit disappointed in what happened yesterday.
Disappointed, obviously. I felt like I didn't do much wrong today, but I didn't do much right either. It was just one of those days where I played a really controlled round of golf. I did what I felt like I needed to, just apart from capitalizing on the easier holes around the turn 9, 12, 14. If I had made the birdies there, from good positions, it probably would have been a different story. But I got beaten by the better player this week. 20 under par for 4 rounds of golf around here is really, really impressive playing, especially to go out and shoot 64 today to get it done. I'll rue a few missed, sort of putts that slid by, but it's been a good week overall, and I can't be too despondent because of how this year's went and how this year's going. I mean, I'm playing some of the best golf that I've played in a long time, so it's just a matter of keep knocking on the door, and eventually one will open.
Yesterday he had, very unusual for him, 36 putts.
But that just shows to show you, So, the point is that you had to be a little bit more aggressive somewhere along the line.
And in terms of thinking about what's ahead now, obviously he's just going to keep competing and knows that someday he'll knock on that door and it's going to open.
I think he's one of the classiest players that plays out there. You saw how he handled himself again. He's not that old. He's 20-some years old. And to be able to do what he's doing and how he contains himself throughout this, with a lot of pressure on him. There aren't a lot of Irish people out there anymore.
So what's ahead for Rory?
I'm only human. At the end of the day, I'm not a robot. And yeah, of course, you think about it and you envision it and you want to envision it. I mean, I was literally, my hotel room is directly opposite the big yellow board on 18 there, right at the first. And like every morning I look out and I'm just trying to envision McIlroy at the top name on that leaderboard and how that would feel. And, at the start of today, it was at the top, but at the start of tomorrow, it won't be. So, of course, you have to let yourself dream. You got to let yourself think about it and what it would feel like. But once I was on the golf course, no, it was just task at hand and trying to play the best golf I possibly could.
Comments of Rory McIlroy, and as you said, class act.
He really is. He's been that way since day one. No issues, no nothing. Standing up for the PGA Tour, which is good. I mean, he's making his decision there how he could be, and I'm sure he could have captured a lot of whatever. But seems to be very appreciative of where he is and appreciative of the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
And we'll talk about that later. In fact, Steve Stricker is standing by. We're going to have Steve on the air, and he's going to have a number of subjects we're going to talk to him about. We'll be back on The Golf Effect after this timeout on TPC Wisconsin.
When it's time for an adventure on the open highway, one quick call to American Family Insurance gets you headed in the right direction. Our travel peace of mind package is there if you encounter a bump in the road. From roadside assistance to rental car coverage, we have you covered. Find a local agent or get a quote at amfam.com.
American Family Insurance.
American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
After 60 years, Cherokee Country Club is now officially known as TPC Wisconsin. Right now, the course and the clubhouse are going through an extensive renovation. When the project is complete, TPC Wisconsin will have a course, club, facilities, and services that'll be second to none in the Badger State. Members will not only have a challenging experience playing the course, but they'll enjoy fine dining experiences and award-winning golf instruction. For more information on becoming a member at TPC Wisconsin, call 608-249-1000. That's 608-249-1000.
This is Paul Brown for Oak Park Place. Oak Park Place Memory Care Communities provide seniors and their loved ones peace of mind. Residents find purpose in their day through a success-oriented program focused on meeting residents where they're at on this journey with Alzheimer's or other forms of dementia. At Oak Park Place, loved ones find comfort and connection through caregiver support groups. Oak Park Place Senior Living with locations throughout Wisconsin. Visit oakparkplace.com to learn more.
Wild Rock Golf Club in the Wisconsin Dells, a Herdston Fry masterpiece, is one of the premier golf destinations in the Midwest. Wild Rock provides a true test of your skill, combined with some of the most stunning vistas you're ever going to encounter on a Wisconsin golf course. Download the new free Wild Rock app. It's a true game changer and lets you stay up to date and receive special promotions regarding all things Wild Rock. Bring your A game, folks. The Rock is waiting for you. Visit WildRockGolf.com. WildRockGolf.com.
Hi, this is Matt LePay, voice of Badgers football and basketball. At this very moment, there are more than 198,000 individuals in Wisconsin serving as caregivers for a loved one living with dementia. Connect them to support through the Alzheimer's Association's 24/7 helpline. One call, thousands of answers, all free of charge. Call 800-272-3900 today. This message made possible through the generous support of Oak Park Place.
All right, boys, mics are on. We're back on Talking Golf on TPC Wisconsin, along with Dennis Tiziani. I'm Paul Brown, and we're trying to reach Steve. We'll try to make contact with him.
He's probably got a big muskie on, and he's not going to answer the phone, you know.
He's fishing and
up in Minocqua.
And we'll find out if we're able to make contact with him. We had it set up, but we'll see. Let's talk a little bit about the Cameron Smith situation.
Okay.
If indeed that situation happened where he would now go to the LIV Tour, and get $90 million. What's your feelings on something like that?
Good for him. I mean, he's a pro. Unfortunately, you judge the size of the tour player by how much money he makes. That's all they keep track of. How much money you make. That determines what's going on. So if that's the case and he has $90 million to live his life with, and and still he's going to play on a tournament that he can earn some money on, I don't know. That's pretty hard to walk away from.
How do you think those guys are, whatever the number is, for whatever player we're talking about, how do you think they're going to pay that? Do you think they're going to get that all up front or what?
Well, that's the real issue. Is it over 10 years or 20 years? I really don't know the specifics about it. You know, we're just listening to a baseball player got $450 million. How long is that over? I mean, you know, that's the question. When you're going to get it. But even still, $90 million, if it takes 10 years or 20 years to get it, so what? But he's going to would make that money. What they have to keep doing for that tour is, in order to get invitations to tournaments, you have to have points. There are no points on the Live Tour. So, you know, no points, how are you going to get into them? You know, that's the whole deal. So some of these invitationals, I mean, is Masters going to invite them? You're not in the top 50 in the world.
Yeah.
So, because you get no points. So.
And I think we got Steve. Do we have Steve, David? All right, Steve.
Was it a big one that you were catching?
What's that?
Was that a big one you were catching?
Oh no, we lost power up north here, and
oh boy.
No, sorry I missed your call, but no, I wasn't out fishing.
I thought you were catching a big fish, and you forgot about us.
What's the biggest muskie you ever caught, Steve?
I caught a 51-inch up in Canada quite a few years ago.
Wow.
Went up there with a few people and went out there with a guide, and we had a great time. It was a lot of fun, a lot of activity.
Yeah, I would think it's a heck of a lot of fun to catch a 51-inch fish. Steve, I'm going to have you listen to the following soundbite, and then we'll chat a little bit about it. We want to talk about the Open, obviously, and a couple of other things, but Tiger Woods, in his press conference after Friday, had this reaction to what happened for him at St. Andrews.
It was very emotional for me. I've been coming here since 1995, and I don't know when I think the next one comes around in 2030, and I don't know if I'll be physically able to play by then. So, you know, to me, it felt like that this might have been my last British Open here at St. Andrews, and the fans, the ovation and the warmth, it was an unbelievable feeling. I understand what Jack and Arnold, you know, had gone through in the past, and I was kind of feeling that way there at the end, and just the collective warmth and understanding. They understand what golf's all about and what it takes to be an Open champion, and you know, I've been lucky enough and fortunate enough to have won this twice here, and it felt very emotional, just because, you know, I just don't know what my health is going to be like, and I feel like I will be able to play future British Opens, but I don't know if I'll be able to play that long enough where, you know, it may come back. Well, when it comes back around here, well, I'll still be playing.
Steve, you're probably one of the guys that may be closest to Tiger, along with other people, obviously, but you know him pretty well, and you watched what happened over there on the weekend. What was your reaction to what you saw and what you heard?
I couldn't hear what he said there, but I watched some of it. You know, he looked like he was, you know, moving better. It looked like, you know, he was doing things a lot better. And then, you know, it's sad to think that could potentially be his last British Open at St. Andrews. You know, they play there quite regularly. You know, I have a feeling that he'll be back there again. You know, I mean, there's a rotation of golf courses in the Open, and you know, they try to go back to St. Andrews as much as they can, and hopefully he'll get back there again. But it's a pretty special place, and to see him walk over the bridge is pretty surreal, really, because I mean, it just puts things in perspective for all of us. We're all getting older, I mean, I remember when we watched him start in Milwaukee, and then all of a sudden, to think about the end of his, even to think about it, he's 40, what is he? He's 46. Yeah. So to think about that he's coming to an end out on the regular tour and some of these majors is frightening, because that means we're all getting older. But yeah, it was a pretty cool moment, and to see Rory over there tip his hat to him and all that, it was pretty cool.
Dennis was saying before we had you on that you and Tiger on one windy day at St. Andrews both shot about 80. Can you put into perspective for Cameron Smith to play at 20 under par for the tournament? How good is that?
Yeah, I mean, that's great. I mean, the scoring at St. Andrews is typically a little bit lower. And then what happened was they didn't have any real conditions. They didn't have a lot of wind, and the last couple of days the wind laid down a bit, and these guys are hitting it further, and the fairways were extremely fast. So I heard at one point there were 6 drivable par 4s. So
right.
When you get that type of player, those guys with that type of game and the ball rolling, and they're driving it straighter nowadays and all that, and it just leads to good scoring. So it doesn't surprise me, just because I know how firm and fast it was playing, and how short it was for some of these guys.
How good is Cameron Smith in your mind?
Yeah, he's probably the best putter in the world. We were watching it on Sunday, and just knowing that, or yesterday actually, and then just knowing how good a putter he is. I mean, that's what determines when you win or lose. And Rory, we all know, struggles putting, and hits it great, but struggles with the short stick. And then Cam Smith is doing everything well. He's playing great golf, and he's making a lot of putts. And when you make putts, that's the difference maker.
Matt Fitzpatrick, Scheffler, Hovland, Zalatoris, all young players, good players. What about Cameron Young? All of a sudden, this guy looks like he's got a pretty bright future ahead of him.
Yeah, I know. I looked him up today because I was curious on where he stood on the President's Cup points list. And, he was, I can't remember, 12th or 16th. I think he was 16th or 12th maybe. I can't remember. But, I was shocked because he's had some really good tournaments and some good major tournaments. But just his swing looks like it really holds up well under pressure, and it looks very simple and not a lot of moving parts. He not a lot of wrist cock. He takes it back, and it's all done through rotation. So it looks like a swing that's going to hold up. So, and it's another bright young player on the U.S. side. So it's been fun to see his growth and how well he's been playing lately too.
We're chatting with Steve Stricker. Steve, Reuters is reporting today, it's only a rumor, but you begin to wonder, there is the possibility that Cameron Smith may take $90 million and go to the LIV Tour. If indeed that became a reality, this whole situation, how would you analyze it? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm disappointed in the whole thing. And I said it before too, when these guys are leaving, that's their prerogative. But, you can't expect the tour to sit idle and do nothing about it. I mean, the bylaws are the bylaws, and those were made up from the players. And when you're a member of the tour, you sign basically a commitment sheet saying that you're going to abide by those bylaws, and you're going to support that tour. And it's one of those situations where you can't have it all. You can't go get 90 million over, on another tour and then come cherry pick the regular tour. I mean, you support, one or the other, in my opinion. And so that's disappointing. And then what's really disappointing is when these guys are stabbing the tour in the back, really, basically after they left. I mean, this is a place where they've all made their name, and some of these guys have made, 50 million or more on the regular tour. And then to basically say, some of the negative things that they've been saying is discouraging and disheartening to me. Yeah, I mean, it's mind-boggling, and it's where we're at, and I'm sure it's going to come down to a court of law to determine where these guys can and can't play.
I was just going to ask you about that. In terms of that, may it wind up in the court? It probably would. But what about your concern overall for golf? This affects so many different things. You can talk about different golf organizations, sponsorships, whatever. This can't be good for golf right now, can it?
It brings a lot of, one good thing, it's bringing a lot of attention to the game, because of this this little bit of feud that's going on. So that's, I guess, good. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's good for the game. I mean, I was brought up wanting to play the PGA Tour, and the goal of mine was to play the PGA Tour. And then as I went further along, I think, what the PGA Tour stands for is important to me as anything, and that's why we put on a PGA Tour sanctioned event in Madison. I mean, because we give $2.5+ million away to charity, and I don't think that's happening on the Live Tour. So we come into towns and areas and big cities and give back to those areas. And it's just a money grab. The other thing is just a money grab, and the tour comes in and makes a difference in those areas. And we've been taught that from day one, from the guys that played ahead of us and before us, and giving back and doing charitable work and doing things for your community is what the tour is all about, and making a living, right? But the other one is not that way.
We're chatting with Steve Stricker, a two-parter, Steve, and we're going to let you go. You had some mid-back issues, getting strength back, your weight back, and that kind of thing, and the thought of the Charles Schwab Cup as you sit in the boat the next couple of days. Where's your mindset on the rest of the year?
Yeah, I'm excited. The way I felt at the Senior Players Championship was as good as I felt all year. I started to move through the ball a little bit stronger and a little bit more freely, with not as much pain in my middle back. And that came from just laying around for 2 months, when I was sick. So starting to get that back. I'm working out more frequently, and especially this next month when I'm not going to play, I'll have that opportunity to kind of get back after that. And I'll get back after it and use this month to get stronger and get ready to go again, and play more as we get into August, September, and October.
And the Schwab Cup possibility, more so?
Yeah,
good.
Yeah, I think it is. I think, I'm second on that list right now, and, quite a bit away back from Stephen Alker. He's got a few tournaments on me under his belt, and a few more wins. So, but it's something that if I can keep creeping up on, and you get into those playoffs, and try to put some pressure on him during that time, would be kind of fun.
Jerry Kelly is missing his golf clubs. Apparently, they're not sure if they're lost or delayed on his flight to the British Senior Open. Did you ever lose your clubs along the way?
No.
Knock on wood, I've not. But yeah, that's always the risk when you go over there, is that either your clothes don't show up for a few days or your clubs don't show up for a few days. So it's one of those risks you take when you go over there. So
well, hopefully
you'll get them.
Yeah. All right, Steve. Thanks a lot. Appreciate the time. Good luck fishing. Hope you get a 52-inch muskie.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's Steve Stricker. Enjoying some well-deserved time off, huh?
Well, I think he came back too early. But he came back, and he did good when he was there. But come back too early, it's gonna get you. Taking this time off would be really good. You'll close good, and then you're taking a look at what happens at the end in 23. That's where you're going to see this guy really shine here in 23.
All right, we'll be back after this timeout on the Golf Effect Radio Network.
Drew and Jonathan Scott here to tell you that American Family Insurance wants to protect your dreams. So whether you're at home singing in the shower,
Every note,
or prefer singing your heart out in the car like Drew,
cruising.
you can save up to 23% when you bundle your home and auto insurance with American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly.
Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Why drive an ordinary car when for the same monthly payment, you could be driving something extraordinary? Aaron Perkins, General Manager, Zimbrick European. Imagine yourself behind the wheel of a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche. More safety, performance, and luxury, and way more fun. And getting more costs less than you think. Zimbrick European makes leasing affordable. Discover the value for yourself. Stop in and test drive a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche today. Visit Zimbrick European and find out why leasing the car of your dreams makes so much sense.
Sculpted by glaciers and played by champions, University Ridge Golf Course is the host site of the American Family Insurance Championship and UW golf teams. The Ridge is a public golf course and it's yours to play without a costly membership. University Ridge is now accepting advanced reservations for the entire golf season. To get your prime tee time reserved, call 608-845-7700 or visit universityridge.com. Play where the Badgers and the pros play. University Ridge.
Oak Park Place offers seniors and their loved ones peace of mind by providing you the right balance of care centered around their lifestyles. Hi, this is Pat Richter for Oak Park Place. Choose a senior living community with neighbors that become like family. Enjoy the comforts of your apartment with an abundance of events just outside your door. Oak Park Place Senior Living with locations in Madison, Janesville, and Baraboo. Visit oakparkplace.com to learn more.
This is Gary D'Amato, senior writer for Killarney Golf Media and Wisconsin.Golf. Visit Wisconsin.Golf for the latest in golf news and feature stories about people, places, and tournaments in our state. And listen to Talking Golf on TPC Wisconsin to hear me spar with Dennis Tiziani. Wisconsin.Golf and Talking Golf on the internet and on your radio dial. The voices of golf in Wisconsin.
Back at TPC Wisconsin, along with Dave McCann, our engineer, Dennis Tiziani, I'm Paul Brown, and you're not going to spar with Gary D'Amato of Wisconsin.Golf. We've got Rob Hernandez on with us. Rob's up at the 121st Wisconsin State Amateur Tournament, which started today in Sand Valley. Little warm up there, Rob, today?
Just a little bit, Paul, and there aren't many trees up here either, so there's not much place for players and spectators to take cover.
Yeah, that's tough on the players, isn't it? Tiz, when to play 4 days in a row, and it's basically going to be, say, 80 to 90. Right?
That'll wear you out, so you got a lot of water, choke down on some of them iron shots.
Okay.
Take another club.
There you go.
That's the stuff.
And Rob spent many years writing sports for the Wisconsin State Journal. He's now involved with Wisconsin.Golf. Kind of give us the quick synopsis. How did you go from the State Journal to Wisconsin.Golf? Let's start there.
Well, that sounds good, Paul. It all came to be when the newspaper business started to contract. Many of the familiar names that I worked alongside for many years at the State Journal. And when they started taking away a couple of my really good friends that had been there a long time, I started looking to see what other options were out there. And John Hughes, who runs Killarney Golf Media, had just purchased the domain names for the .golf domains. And so he had the domain for Wisconsin.Golf, Milwaukee.Golf, Madison.Golf. At one time, we were going to do a whole bunch of different .golf type websites, and when we focused in on Wisconsin.Golf, it really took off. And then we added Gary about a year and a half in, and the rest is kind of history. I get the same thrill and the same reception covering golf with Wisconsin.Golf that I did all those years covering high school sports at the State Journal and walking into all the small gyms from Cuba City on up to Randolph, and it's really kind of cool.
We're chatting with Rob Hernandez. Rob, I remember talking to Bill Brophy one time when we were having a beer. Can you imagine that, him and I having a beer?
No, I can't.
And,
was it at the Laurel or where was it? Where was it, Paul? Come on, where was this place?
And I asked Bill at that time, I said, Bill was sports editor of the Wisconsin State Journal for years. And at one point I said, Bro, how many people are basically in the sports department of the State Journal? And he goes, well, are you talking full-time guys, part-time guys, guys that take scores on the weekend? And I said, everybody that's involved with the department. And he said, I'd have to go through and think about it. And Rob, you could kind of confirm this based on past history. He said, probably at that point, 25 to 30. Now there may not be 10 people, right, Rob, in that entire department?
In the entire department, I mean, we're getting to the point now where, we're getting under 25 in the entire newsroom, I bet, and at least the full-time people. And you don't have that bank of people because this is the first year they stopped taking box scores. You couldn't find the high school golf, traditional box score, where you had the team score and then the scores of the 4 counting individuals, which was really our bread and butter. I mean, everybody in the state of Wisconsin who was in the southwest part of the state who had kids playing high school sports would pick up the paper to see their kid's name in the newspaper, whether it was for football, basketball, or sports like golf, swimming, and tennis. And that's totally gone away now. So they don't, it's amazing, Paul, because, we did all that before the internet. We did most of it before fax machines. We did, when I first started, we did 100% of it, taking calls from every coach over the phone and typing the information into a computer system. And we did it from Arcadia down to Lake Geneva. The area was far more vast than it is now. So yeah, it's really changed dramatically. But with what I've learned at the State Journal, I'm able to apply in covering every high school in the state for golf at the high school level, and that's kind of neat. And I know the coaches appreciate it, and the families too, especially the kids who are looking to play college golf. It gives them some exposure, and it kind of we rank the kids kind of like some other websites do for football and basketball, and it's kind of helped drum up an interest from the youngest readers of our website to grandmas and grandpas who want to see what their grandkids are doing.
So the transition of the newspaper business for you guys at Wisconsin.Golf, which I say this, I don't think Rob would disagree, but I won't even put him in that position. If you're a golf fan in Wisconsin, this is the best source in the state to find out about what's going on in golf in Wisconsin and beyond. So this turned out to be a positive for you guys, didn't it?
Absolutely, and it's funny you bring that up, Paul, because Gary D'Amato and Jim Kelsch, who takes all of our great photos, just walked out here to the 16th green. We've got the lead group at this point in the tournament: Jack Schultz, Cameron Huss, and Bennett Swavely. Jack Schultz currently leads at 5 under coming up, and we were talking about how we may not file the story until midnight because it's going to be the tee time start at 7 this morning. It's a single tee start, kind of unusual for a state amateur, and the last tee time was at 3 o'clock. This is a new course to everybody in the field pretty much, and it's we're talking 5-hour rounds plus, so the last groups won't get done until 8 or 8:30, and so we're not going to file anytime soon. But we made the comment, it really doesn't matter because there's nobody else here competing with us to get the story up first, and so we'll make sure and take our time and put together a good package that'll be there first thing in the morning, and it'll be there throughout the entire day as we're trying to report on the second day. So yeah, I mean it really has been a wonderful thing for both for everybody involved with Killarney Golf Media. We just lost Dennis McCann to a retirement. We're hoping that he'll still write stories from time to time. So we're gonna try to maybe branch out and bring some other people aboard on a kind of a freelance basis. But for Gary and me, coming from newspapers that essentially stopped covering golf, this has been kind of a second life for us.
We're chatting with Rob Hernandez of Wisconsin.Golf. They're up at the 121st Annual Wisconsin State Amateur Golf Tournament. A little bit unusual, is it not? They're using 2 courses up at Sand Valley.
Yeah, and unusual in that they're using one today and one tomorrow. They've at the State Open twice in the last 5 years. They've used 2 courses where half the field plays one course and half the other on both of the first 2 days, and then they just flip-flop, kind of like the U.S. Amateur does. And but this one they're playing the Sand Valley course today, and then Mammoth Dunes tomorrow. I've never been on either. Gary, of course, has, and the way he would describe it is that today is where you just kind of hang on for dear life, and a lot of the golfers are doing that until Jack Schultz got to 5 under, and then tomorrow is going to be it's a shorter test of golf, and it's one where you can make a lot more birdies. The par 5s are reachable, and you can look for some low scores. So I think it's a pretty great setup. Especially given that everybody's going to play it on the same day, and then the low 70 and ties go on to the final round or the final 2 rounds on Wednesday and Thursday. So it's kind of great. It's a good format. And I've got to mention too, for Tiz's benefit, that I came up to the 16th green here as one of his former players was about to putt a 25-footer, and of course, Badger Bob Gregorski rolls it in for the birdie. He turns to me and said, "You just got the highlight reel. That was it."
Yeah, he's a good boy, and
he was a pretty good player too, wasn't he?
Well, he was an All-American, and on top of that, he was he was kind of overlooked on this Wisconsin Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to leave him in there, but I look at this Hall of Fame, and from a golf standpoint, Bob Gregorski was one of the best players that ever played here. So maybe next year they'll get him in. But he was a good player. I can remember when he first came here. Do we have time?
Yes, we got
I
time.
can remember when he first came here. I was paired with him in the last round of the Open Championship at over here in Milwaukee. And he got done, and the next morning, Monday morning, he showed up here, and he said he wants to transfer from San Diego to Madison. Well, he came here. He had a kind of a funky pair of shorts on.
Is that the guy you told to go get dressed?
Yeah, I said, buddy, I said, I like you and everything, but you get the hell out of here. Go get some clothes, and then you can come on back. And he did. He went someplace. He must have went to the some store and got some pants, and he got down there. And then I got into it with him because he roomed with me also on that deal. And very bright kid. He got a degree. He's a lawyer, He got a law degree here. He's a very bright guy besides. But there were a lot of backgrounds in his life that coming here, he really got going. Did you know he couldn't qualify for the first 5 spots here? And he got in an event when one of the other players, I cut him for not counting right, and I kicked.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
You got a 5 on that hole? No.
He forgot to count, so I kicked him off, and this left Bob in the tournament.
No kidding.
And he shoots 75 in the first round, and he wanted to go ahead and, skip lunch and let's go up hit some balls. I said, okay, well, we go up to hit balls. Well, the long and short is the next round he shot 62. And he missed about an 8-footer on the last hole for a 61. That was here at Cherokee.
Wow.
So, there's a lot of history and a lot of story there how good he is. But he's a very good person and a very good family guy besides. So, those are things that really add up for me.
See, Rob, when all you got to do with Tiz is bring up a name if it's golf, and he's probably got a story. 156 guys initially up there, and Pearson Hunt won the tournament last year, and the 4 guys before that. What's going on? None of them are around. It looks like it could be an open field, this year?
It is, and and again, I go back to, when Steve and Jerry and Skip Kendall and J.P. Hayes were coming through, followed by Mark Wilson, and we would have a lot of this, where the guys would, get to a certain point and they try to, play and dabble in, whether it be the Canadian Tour, the, what's now the Korn Ferry Tour. I can think off the top of my head that we've got, Thomas Longbella, who won the tournament a few years ago. He's on the Canadian Tour with Harrison Ott, who won it a couple years ago, and then George Kanizer, who played at UW Green Bay. He's up there, and I'm forgetting one, but we've got 4 guys up in Canada. We've got other guys that are trying to qualify. We were both, Gary and I were riveted by your conversation last week with Jordan Niebrugge, who I got to cover when I was living in California before the move to Arizona. He came through a couple times for the second stage of Korn Ferry Tour qualifying school, and I thought the guy was unbeatable. I mean, he was just had such a presence about him when he got through the second stage, maybe about 4 years ago now, and I thought this was going to be it. He was going to go back to that Jordan Niebrugge we saw below amateur at the Open Championship, and And then, as he documented to you last week, I mean, something just kind of changed in his game. He was working on things to try to get to the next level. And, we've seen it sometimes those things, don't always work, and you got to go backwards to go forwards. And so hopefully that's what he's doing. But yeah, and then Pearson's playing that national schedule. I remember when, Steve Stricker would tell me that, I'm going to go out to the Sunny Hannah and the Porter Cup, and I'm going, what is this? I mean, come on, you can defend, your state amateur, your Ray Fisher. And for us, that was big stuff. But for him, to get where he's going, he needed to play that kind of competition. And Pearson is kind of in the same boat Steve was a couple decades ago. And but we've got a great field of young talent coming up, and just a number of really solid players. And then, for a long time today, a guy leading the tournament was the Wisconsin Public Links Association mid-amateur champion who got into this tournament as one of the two alternates. Only two people got, they set a record for the number of qualifying entries, for people eager to see what Sand Valley was all about. And only two people withdrew, and Travis Prunsinski got in. And he was leading at 5 under for a while, bogeyed 18. He was at 4, and now when I came on the call, Jack Schultz had slipped in front of him. But otherwise, it's 2 under or better, and there's just a lot of guys that have the ability to shoot that score. And now tomorrow, they've got to go out there and make a number at Mammoth Dunes and try to put themselves into position for 2 really grueling rounds. I would anticipate Wednesday and Thursday back here at Sand Valley.
Rob, do you have to go, or can you hang on? I'd like to ask you one question or two about high school golf, or are you tied up? We'll be back after this time out on the Golf Effect Radio Network.
When it's time for an adventure on the open highway, one quick call to American Family Insurance gets you headed in the right direction. Our travel peace of mind package is there if you encounter a bump in the road. From roadside assistance to rental car coverage, we have you covered. Find a local agent or get a quote at amfam.com.
American Family Insurance.
American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
After 60 years, Cherokee Country Club is now officially known as TPC Wisconsin. Right now, the course and the clubhouse are going through an extensive renovation. When the project is complete, TPC Wisconsin will have a course, club, facilities, and services that'll be second to none in the Badger State. Members will not only have a challenging experience playing the course, but they'll enjoy fine dining experiences and award-winning golf instruction. For more information on becoming a member at TPC Wisconsin, call 608-249-1000. That's 608-249-1000.
Wild Rock Golf Club in the Wisconsin Dells, a Herdston Fry masterpiece, is one of the premier golf destinations in the Midwest. Wild Rock provides a true test of your skill, combined with some of the most stunning vistas you're ever going to encounter on a Wisconsin golf course. Download the new free Wild Rock app. It's a true game changer and lets you stay up to date and receive special promotions regarding all things Wild Rock. Bring your A game, folks. The Rock is waiting for you. Visit wildrockgolf.com. wildrockgolf.com.
Why drive an ordinary car when for the same monthly payment, you could be driving something extraordinary? Aaron Perkins, General Manager, Zimbrick European. Imagine yourself behind the wheel of a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche. More safety, performance, and luxury, and way more fun. And getting more costs less than you think. Zimbrick European makes leasing affordable. Discover the value for yourself. Stop in and test drive a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche today. Visit Zimbrick European and find out why leasing the car of your dreams makes so much sense.
Hi, this is Paul Brown, longtime Badger sportscaster. My wife was only 57 years old when she started having trouble remembering things at work and getting lost driving home. That was the start of a heartbreaking 8-year journey that led to her eventual passing from Alzheimer's. Please don't ignore the 10 warning signs of Alzheimer's. Find information at alz.org/Wisconsin. This message was made possible through the generous support of Oak Park Place Foundation. Back at TPC Wisconsin on the Golf Effect Radio Network, along with Dennis Tiziani. I'm Paul Brown. Rob, I was getting Glenn Miller stories during the commercial break.
I heard that. I heard that, Paul. I've got to tell Tiz that I invoked the name of Glenn Miller today. 66-year-old Mike Murphy from Madison is in the field, and he was coming up 18, and he goes, "You'll have to come up for lunch and we can talk." I said, and I texted him later, I said in my best Glenn Miller voice, lunch, Murph. the WSGA is starting these tee times at 7 a.m. and they're going to 3 p.m. I don't have time for lunch. So
that'd be him. I tell you what.
And to hear Glenn doubt that Tiz could win Big Ten titles with Wisconsin talent at Wisconsin.
Oh, never happened.
I tell you what, I was in Ann Arbor, Tiz, when you won that one with Benny Walter.
Oh yeah.
And maybe the shortest guy ever to win a Big Ten title, but the biggest heart. And I tell you what, you have the blueprint for that, and I think that. It may not be able to be all Wisconsin kids, but it's neat to see Mike Wilson really going after some of the great talent here in the state. And but as I say that, one of the guys that his predecessor, Mike Burson, found that nobody else really knew about was Cameron Huss. And he just teed off here on number 17, a tough par 3 out of the Sand Valley course. And he's only a couple of shots behind Jack Schultz. And this kid is really going to be something. He is good friends with Pearson Hunt and really out of the same mold and someone that I think's got a huge future. And he's kind of, Gary and I, we had our picks, and I thought this might be Cameron Huss's year to win it. But Jack Schultz, who's a career amateur, used to play at Michigan, had no intentions of turning pro. He really likes this course. Gary found out he shot 63, 66 out here during practice rounds a few months ago. Obviously not the course setup they're seeing today, but Jack is certainly going to be a force here these next couple of days. But I had to throw that in there about Glenn Miller because I don't know what Glenn was thinking. Boy, he was the biggest Badger fan we knew at the State Journal, Tiz, and he doubted you. I can't believe he wasn't solidly in your corner.
Oh yeah, well I used to, bust his chops a little bit when I did. But on this business of Mike Wilson, you're going to see a different story here. This guy is really good. Mike Wilson was the coach of the year 3 out of 5 years in that down at UAB. He gets it, and he gets the word development and what that means for development. He's got a real good assistant there, very good player, and he has been with me a few times. We're going to offer him all kinds of opportunities to improve his team and work with some of his players and give them some of our background. So he communicates with me once every couple of weeks or so and stays with it. The other guy didn't talk to me for 15 years, and I feel bad a little bit about that wasn't there, that all of a sudden, we were counting top 10 finishes, but there were only 12 people in the field, So, we had to get out of that, making we get the win. And in his first year, though, this guy here was 1 or 2 shots out of the lead from Illinois in the first Big Ten. So he's got the stuff, and we should look forward now to, because there are some players. I have a couple of players that are young players, I'm telling you, that are 16 years old, that are going to be showstoppers. And, we
got to keep them in the Badger
Well,
state.
we hope that they would stay here, but then we got to figure a way how to get them someplace in January, February, and March. And we've got the money to do it, or go out and raise the money. That's what I had to do. Get out and raise it, coaches, and let's get on so we can get these people more. But anyway, I got off on this type of thing a little bit, but he's the guy we have now. I like what's going on.
Rob, at the AmFam Championship, you were talking a little bit about high school golf, and I sense some concerns in a couple of areas in your discussion there. What's going on in your mind with high school golf in Wisconsin?
Well, I think the biggest concern is that it challenges the best kids while still making it fun for the kids for whom high school golf is their only exposure to to competitive golf. And I think there was some concern this year about the geographical placement of some schools, making sure that the best teams get to the state high school tournament. I know in the as we watch the future of golf courses in Madison and where different tournaments wind up. If the tournament winds back up ever at University Ridge and they're under contract to hold it there through 27, it's going to be elsewhere because of where the AmFam Championship falls on the senior tour schedule right now, and rightly so. They're talking about maybe cutting it back a little bit, but we've got some really good competitive junior golfers here, but when they get to national tournaments right now, Paul, they don't perform at the level that shows that they're ready to be recruited by that upper echelon Power 5 Division I program. And I know that that's why we've seen maybe some kids passed over, but I Steve Bailey of Marquette's out here in I expect to see Mike Wilson, out here, and Lee Ranke up at Green Bay is kind of a modern day Tiz, because he won't recruit anybody but Wisconsin kids, and he's done a wonderful job on the women's side, and he's starting to get the guys to buy in on the men's side, and they might have the easiest path, or the most likely path to an NCAA regional berth, because on the women's side they're one spot out of winning that Horizon League, and that's what you need to do to get to a regional, and and Marquette's been to a few, and I think Wisconsin will get back there. So we've got the potential, but we just need to give these kids more opportunities for the best golfers to be challenged at by the toughest courses and tough course setups, and it can't all be about trying to go shoot 62. It's got to be about trying to think your way around a course that where 71's a good score, and I think we're getting there. I think the awareness is there. And clearly with the instructors we have in the state, it seems like whenever kids get in a bind and kind of reach their limit with one instructor, they go to Dennis, they go to Larry. I tell you what, the guy who was at Cherokee for many years, Travis Becker, now down in Beloit, is absolutely one of the red hot instructors in the state, and picking up a lot of kids and really showing them some things that maybe they hadn't thought of. And so I think all the pieces are there, all the tools are there, and we're going to see a really great run of good young talent here the next few years, because there's especially on the girls' side in the class of 2024, and Dennis might know someone in that class. They're really deep there. 27's deep for the girls, and then the boys seem to have someone coming up each of the next 3 or 4 years that they're working hard with the idea of impressing.
We got to go. We appreciate it, Rob. Thank you very much.
Not a problem.
Good luck covering the tournament. Say hello to Mr.
Mr. Know-It-All.
We'll be back after this time out on the Golf Effect Radio Network.
Drew and Jonathan Scott here to tell you that American Family Insurance wants to protect your dreams. So whether you're at home singing in the shower,
every note,
or prefer singing your heart out in the car like Drew,
cruising,
you can save up to 23% when you bundle your home and auto insurance with American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly.
Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Sculpted by glaciers and played by champions, University Ridge Golf Course is the host site of the American Family Insurance Championship and UW golf teams. The Ridge is a public golf course, and it's yours to play without a costly membership. University Ridge is now accepting advanced reservations for the entire golf season. To get your prime tee time reserved, call 608-845-7700 or visit universityridge.com. Play where the Badgers and the pros play. University Ridge. This is Paul Brown for Oak Park Place. Oak Park Place Memory Care Communities provide seniors and their loved ones peace of mind. Residents find purpose in their day through a success-oriented program focused on meeting residents where they're at on this journey with Alzheimer's or other forms of dementia. At Oak Park Place, loved ones find comfort and connection through caregiver support groups. Oak Park Place Senior Living with locations throughout Wisconsin. Visit oakparkplace.com to learn more.
Why drive an ordinary car when for the same monthly payment, you could be driving something extraordinary? Aaron Perkins, General Manager, Zimbrick European. Imagine yourself behind the wheel of a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche. More safety, performance, and luxury, and way more fun. And getting more costs less than you think. Zimbrick European makes leasing affordable. Discover the value for yourself. Stop in and test drive a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche today. Visit Zimbrick European and find out why leasing the car of your dreams makes so much sense.
This is Gary D'Amato, Senior Writer for Killarney Golf Media and Wisconsin.Golf. Visit Wisconsin.Golf for the latest in golf news and feature stories about people, places, and tournaments in our state. And listen to Talking Golf on TPC Wisconsin to hear me spar with Dennis Tiziani. Wisconsin.Golf and Talking Golf on the internet and on your radio dial. The voices of golf in Wisconsin.
TPC Wisconsin, along with Dennis Tiziani. I'm Paul Brown. Any quick update on TPC here?
Well, we're still on for seeding on August 1. 6 holes already have the cart paths in. Irrigation, the pump is in, ready to go. Tremendous amount of inquiries for
That's
membership.
good.
Yeah, it's 200, almost 300 of them now. People, some might do, I'm sure, nosy, want to know what's going on, but they do. They do have the stuff out in front of them, or they're
Sure.
So we're looking forward to the next the next 3 or 4 months, 2 months, and then
They can start to see what it's going to look like.
Oh, we're going to raise the price, Oh, excuse me.
All right, Dennis. Very quickly, a reminder, we have golf passes for Wild Rock, $60 passes. They're charging over $90 up there now. The money comes to the Golf Effect. You can play a round of golf with the car for $60, and the money comes to the Golf Effect. Go to the golfeffect.org website. Look for the passes. It's listed under Wild Rock. You order them, pay through PayPal, and they'll be sent to you by the staff here at TPC Wisconsin. For Dave McCann, Dave, nice job on the engineering. Thank you for your help. Dennis Tiziani, I'm Paul Brown. And that's another edition of Talking Golf on the Golf Effect Radio Network from TPC Wisconsin.